3 days to get any amount of it. You'd have to do that, for a couple of years every day to get enough to do you any really harm. So from my point of view, BPA is a non-event. It's like rat hair in Spam or in any other product. It's a non-event, and I think that the advertisers are using it simply because they have an agenda, and their agenda is to sell stainless steel and to break into the Nalgene market and get a piece of the market share. So they have a really strong agenda, and when people have an agenda, they tend to bend the truth or just leave out the facts in order to promote their agenda. And I feel that's what's going on here. I don't think it's fair at all. I think it's really misleading the public, and it's certainly not fair to the Nalgene company, which has made a really, really good water bottle for backpackers from many, many years. I think it's a waste of resources and a waste of money and an insult to my intelligence for people to tell me that something has something in it and give me no numbers whatsoever. Just let me assume the worst. I mean, after all, the baby bottles that people have been feeding their children out of for years is made out of the same plastic. Yes, they're changing it now, but not because it was ever bad, just because it's a public opinion thing. A gross distortion of the truth. Here's another example. Now, when I laid an underground cable yesterday, I had to reach in underneath my shop to move it around, and evidently there was, I'm not sure what it was for a plant, I'm going to assume poison ivy, but it might have been something else, was under the edge of the shop. When I reached in, I got it on me. Now this morning when I got up, this was all red and irritated, and as we all know with poison ivy, it's going to break out and go into a big rash and blister up, and it's going to be a long time getting rid of it, depending on how much I scratch it or just tolerate the itch. Now, I had poison ivy on the back of my leg one time, right where it bends, and I got that picking blueberries. I had shorts on, and I stooched down, and a piece of poison ivy got right in, and I bent my leg and got it right in between my leg. And because of where it was extremely hard to get rid of, and I scratched it, and it got worse, and I eventually went to the doctors, and they diagnosed it as poison ivy or poison oak, and they wrote me out a prescription for this little bottle of liquid, clear liquid, looks like water. Now, I had had this on the back of my leg for a month, and it was nasty. Don't get me wrong, it was gross. I put this clear liquid on my leg, and in 3 days, you would never know there was anything wrong. It was completely gone. Now, my question is, I kept the bottle. That was 4 or 5 years ago. The bottle said it was only good for a year, and then it was expired. I've had this bottle for 5 years, and I put it on this arm, and tomorrow that'll be gone. Although it's supposed to be dead after just a few months, it actually lasts almost indefinitely. It's a controlled substance. It requires a prescription to get. I've used it many, many, many times, never had any problem with it whatsoever. My question is, if there's something on the market that would get rid of that much suffering that quick, i.e. poison ivy, why isn't it readily available over the counter fairly cheap? Because this was not an expensive drug. My opinion is because if you did that, all these other things that you use to get rid of poison ivy would not sell anymore. And I think more importantly, the doctors wouldn't get charge you for a doctor visit and write you a prescription for this commodity. It would be like curing the common cold. There would be millions and billions of dollars lost on the fact that poison ivy is fairly nasty stuff. I think the people that make this stuff have an agenda, and they promote it. It's sad because everybody should have a bottle of this stuff. I won't even give you the name of it, but anybody that's ever had poison ivy and gone to the doctors and got a prescription for it knows that it's very easy to get rid of. I think it disconnects the chain reaction between your immune system and the toxin in the poison ivy. I'm not sure how it works. All I know is in 3 days gone. So anyway, my point here is, anytime anybody says anything, you want to ask about their agenda and look at what they're going to gain or lose by making a statement like that. And be a smart consumer, because you can really be misled by the public if you don't pay attention. Be misled by companies or an individual or anybody. It really pays to ask some questions and look into it and do a little research, because information is power. Knowledge is power. And you'll only be a more powerful person if you take the time to really look into things and don't take them at face value. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design, and that's my statement for the day, and there was no agenda behind this other than trying to educate the public. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, and more important than anything, have a great day. Bye-bye.